All right, we are now recording. This is encounter number 13 for Hebrew 101, Learning Biblical Hebrew with Kutz and Josberger. Welcome. Nice to see you guys. Before we get started, as is our custom, do you have any questions or issues that you want to work through before we tackle the new information? It's not really new information because we covered it last week, but it's supposedly the new information with the Qal Perfect. You can't hear anything, Scott? Everybody hears me, yeah?
I do, yep.
I do fine.
Scott, I don't know. You got to go into your settings. You got to get into your settings and clear that up. Okay. All right. So here we go. All right. Any questions? And then we'll start the screen share. No?
None for me.
Okay. So here we go. PowerPoint up. All right. Beginning Biblical Hebrew. That's where we are. We are starting chapter 13, and then 13 is the Qal Perfects, which we kind of covered last week. Before we start, I wanted to go over this thing that I put this thing up all the time. I've added a little, I've changed it a bit. I added, first of all, the word terem from your vocabulary. Terem means before. Beterem, terem. Ha yesh lachem ha'arot o she'elot terem natchil. This is before we will begin, before we begin. Ha is the question mark. Do, or it's like a yes or no question. So do you have? Ha yesh lachem. Do you have? Ha'arot, comments. Ha'arot. O she'elot, questions. She'elot. Terem natchil. Before we begin. Any questions that we could go over before we get started here? Nobody's got anything? Ward, you started to say?
Well, no, so you answered the one question I had already.
Okay.
About the form of the word when it goes into pause.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Giovanni, are you on mute on purpose, intentionally?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's get started by looking at the types of roots that we have in Hebrew. We didn't really cover it before we got started with verbs, but we're going to cover it now real quick. So, somebody want to read this for us? It's quotes from this grammar book from Qal. Let's see. This grammar book right here. Grammar for Biblical Hebrew by Qal. You want to read that first part for us, Ward?
Okay, roots that have the same kinds of radicals tend to behave the same way. It is helpful, therefore, to classify roots according to their types.
That's my typo.
To do this, right.
That's right.
I ran right past it. To do this, it's convenient to refer to the first radical as 1, the second radical is Roman numeral 2, and the third radical is Roman numeral 3.
Mm-hmm. I'll say like first, second, and third. Okay, that's all right. The next bit here, you want to grab that, John?
Roots, excuse me, roots like Qaf, Lamed, Lamed, and
Samech, Bet, Bet.
Samech, Bet, Bet are said to be geminate, in the Latin geminus twin, or
2 equals 3, right? Because it's
3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because their second and third radicals are alike.
Yeah, yeah. So in summary, a word may be described in terms of its root, pattern, or root type. So if we refer to a word, we can say words that have strong roots, like on the left, Malach, Shafat, Lamad, and Katsaf. These are strong roots. What we mean by strong is it means that the letters don't drop out and they don't cause the refusal of dagesh, Okay, we got first noon. These are where, look at all the examples where noon is the first root letter. First aleph, where aleph is the first root letter. Second vav, where vav is the second letter in the root. Second yod, same idea. Third hey, where hey is at the end of the root. Third aleph, where aleph's at the end of the root. Third chet, where chet is at the end of the root. And you've got geminates that we mentioned, like savav, shagag, tamam, and madad. We are going to see that there are a lot of variations by what letter is in what position among the different root types. This will have an effect on the vocalization and how the different, like for example, the hif'il. If we take a strong root like malach, we have himlich, hif'il, himlich. But if there's an aleph in the beginning, it's he'eh, like he'emin. He'emin is he believed, but it's still hif'il. That beginning aleph is going to have effects on the vocalization. All of these different roots are going to change how we basically form the different forms, but we'll get into it as it comes, and it's predictable. Traditional stems. The traditional naming of stems is with, like we have here, the pei, ayin, lamed. Okay, this is the traditional naming. Pa'al is the traditional name for the kal. You've got the pl.
For me, you're really breaking up badly.
How about everyone else?
I'm getting you fairly well.
Good.
Hey Scott, we hear you.
What's that?
Ward, your video dropped out. It might be on your end. There's your video's back. Can you hear?
So I'm thinking of signing out because I can't hear.
Okay, maybe try signing back in. Let's see. Maybe go out and come back in.
Now I'm okay.
Okay.
And your video came back, Ward.
Great. So these are these are the traditional letters for the roots. Pa'al. For example, this would be PL, Nif'al. This is how we name the forms. Nif'al, PL, Hitpa'el. We use these root letters to give a name to them. What we do nowadays, the modern way to do it, is to use these letters Kuf, Tet, Lamed. Not for the names of the stems, but for the forms themselves. So like the hifil form is called hiktil, hiktil, with these letters. So essentially the first root letter can be called pei, or it can be called kuf. The second root letter can be called ayin. It's better that I show you what I'm talking about. It's kind of confusing what's going on here. Let's get rid of all of that, erase all ink. Let's say we have the word malach. Malach is a katal form. Katal means that these are the vowels that go on it. That it's ma-lach. So we call it katal. That's the form. Every word that has that form is going to be called katal. That's the name of the form. Okay, so the future, the imperfect, if we're talking about the imperfect, we're going to call it yiktol. Yiktol is another way of saying imperfect. Qal imperfect. Yiktol. So if you say yiktol, you're referring to all Qal imperfect verbs. And if you say katal, you're referring to all Qal perfect verbs. Katal means Qal perfect. Yiktol means Qal imperfect. Okay, it's basically katal is the root letters that we use to give names to the forms. Okay, but we use pa'al and pl and nif'al and whatever to name the stems. So we've got a way to name the stems. You know what I mean by stems? Stems are Qal, Nifal, PL. We're only going to be doing Qal in this course, but it's basically there are 7 normal patterns that the roots fall into that change the meaning of the root for a verb. Too complicated, maybe. I just want to get across to you that katal is used for naming the forms, Baal is used for naming the stems, and that there are 7 stems. We think of them in terms of a candelabrum. That is, so you've got Qal, okay, and the passive of Qal is the nifal, generally thought. You have the PL, and the passive of the PL is the pual. You have the hifil, and the passive of the hifil is the hufal or hofal. And then in the middle you have reflexive, which is hitpael. We're going to go through all of these over time, but in this course we're going to focus only on the Qal. In the next course it will be you filling the entire verb system in together so that we can have a full picture of the verb system. But right now, if you learn the endings of the Qal, you will be able to get to all of the other endings. The Qal is the example for everything. So we have to spend a lot of time on the Qal, and then we'll get into the rest. But like we said, diber. Diber is PL. And what else did we say on there? We had another vocabulary word on this one. What was the other vocabulary word we had for PL? I don't have the book open.
The word to recount or to count.
Siper.
Siper, yeah.
Siper. And also we had honor, respect. Kibed.
Diber.
Kibed.
Diber. And
Yeah,
diber also.
so you see that the pattern is this tsere is here on each of them. There's a dagesh in the middle. That dagesh is important. It's a doubling dagesh, and a chirik in the beginning. So diber, siper, kibed. We call that PL. You understand why we call it PL? Because that's the vowel pattern. PL, diber, siper, kibed. That's the vowel pattern, so that's how we call it. Okay? All right, so again, we can call the root letters like this: root 1, root 2, and root 3. So we could say that this is first mem, this root. This is second lamed, and third kaf. These are not important. This is it's a strong root, so we don't really need to name the letters that are in it. But all right, let's practice this. I've put down here a list of common root designations, and we want to go through and identify the root types of all of the verbs that I put over here. These are all of the verbs that we covered up to chapter 7. I haven't put together a list for the rest yet. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Okay, and think of that list that we have here. Okay, so we've got strong. That means that they don't change. Like, let's see, strong, we could say shamal. Lavash, that's a good strong verb. Meaning that it's not a guttural, it's not vav and yod, it's not hey, it's not a vowel letter. There are no vowel letters there. There's no gutturals. So it's strong root. Strong is no vowels and no gutturals. Okay? So let's identify, we'll go one by one. We'll do this order. We'll go Geo first. Scotty, you want to do this with us?
I can try.
Okay.
I'll give it a try.
John and Ward. Is that order okay for you? Yeah. So
Yes.
Geo, go ahead and tackle the first one. Give us an identification, and we'll move.
Yeah, I've lost you again.
Okay.
I'm on my iPad now. I think
Hmm. Yeah, you broke up again. Is it me?
No, I can hear you fine.
No, you're good.
We lost Ward. He dropped out. So let's go. I can't write Geo. I don't know. Scott can't write anything. And if Ward comes back, he'll be there at the end. Okay, so Geo, go ahead and tackle the first one if you would. This one right here.
Okay.
Well, all of these are we're gonna say the vowel pattern ah. So achal, not ochel, but achal, because these are verbs. Ochel is a noun. Achal. Looking at the root letters that are here, how would you classify them in the list that's there?
I'm kind of stuck here.
Okay, well look at it. Look at the root. We're looking for gutturals. We're looking for gutturals, and we're looking for vowel letters.
So I think the aleph there.
Yeah, you've got the aleph. In what position is it in?
First.
First position. So that's your root right there. First aleph.
First aleph.
You see what I mean? You look for the gutturals and the root and the vowel letters, and then drop it over there according to the type. Let's say this one here. Scott, do you want to grab that one?
Looks like machar. And this looks strong.
Yep, it's strong. Good. Okay. What about this one, John?
That's weak with hay at the end, so it's 3
It's
hay.
not hay, it's
Het.
het.
Still counts as a weak, though, does it?
No, I think it has its own category.
Okay, so it'd be 3 guttural.
Yeah. And the difference is, like when it has a long vowel before the end, it's gonna like think of it as tsere. Tsere. This one here, it's gonna take a furtive patach. Patach gnuva. So it's lokeach. Lokeach. The ach on the end there is because it's a third guttural. So if it had an ayin there, like do we have shema? Yeah. So we have sho me ah right here. Sho me. Oop, go back. Sho me ah. Shomea, hearing, right? You know what I mean? If there's a tsere here, then this becomes ah on the end. That's why third guttural is special, and why we put ayin and chet together. Also, hey mapit. These 3 go together. So we just class them together. Instead of saying third chet or third ayin or third hey mapit, we're just going to say third guttural and throw them all together into one class. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Welcome back, Mr. Ward. You want to take this one? It says connecting to audio. Sorry. And it says connected. Are we able to hear you? Are you able to hear us? We can't hear anything. Can you hear us? Okay, I hear something now.
Right now I hear something.
All right.
I think the problem is on my trouble. I think I have internet problems, but
It happens.
go with it.
So can you see the word that's circled right there?
I can.
Okay, so how would you classify it in the choices we've got here?
A 3 aleph.
Yes, third aleph. Third aleph, like kara, and like the word bara, he created. This we already saw is going to have difference in the printing. There's no dagesh here, and that this is long. Barati. Barati. Okay, great. We saw the differences the other week when we were looking at that. Okay. You get the idea, right? That you classify based. This is shafach. It's strong because there are no gutturals, no vowel letters. Sim is second yod. We would call it hollow. Second yod and second vav are called hollow because they like to drop out. We're going to see it in a second. So sim in the past tense become whom some. The e disappears and we have some, or not shum, but some. He put some. And another example, let's see what we have here. Mut. Mut, to say he died. Met. Who met? Who met? Like the u disappears. We don't have another. There's haya. Haya doesn't count because it's different. Haya is not a vowel letter in the middle. It's ha, ya. It's not a vowel letter. It's a consonant, ya. All right, let's go to the next page. Until this point, my point is that you grasp that we categorize roots by, so B by, welcome back, John. Welcome back.
I was still here.
Oh,
I was
we
here. I
just
just
your
turned the
camera.
video off.
Okay, so we categorize roots by position of gutturals and vowel letters. Okay, that's my my point. Okay, beyond that, that's really what you need to grasp from what we just did. Do you have any questions? This says, "Hayesh lachem הערות או שאלות terem namshich." Namshich, we will continue. Before we continue, do you have any questions or comments? Scott? Mm-hmm.
So what's the importance of these 11 root forms? Why is that important?
For these ones here?
Yeah.
Let's think about, how can I explain this simply? Right now, we are in the Qal system, Qal verb system. It's not going to have a lot of relevance because the Qal doesn't do a lot to the root. The only big thing that happens in the Qal is with the hollow verbs, where the hollow, like you have kum, means to get up. That vav disappears and you say he gets up, who come. He kama, she gets up, or she got up. Kamti, I got up. Kamti.
Okay.
So that
So it helps us know what to expect.
Yeah.
And be able to predict what's going to, okay.
We're able basically to we're able to anticipate where strange things are going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I tell you that shomer, this is O, okay? Shomer means guarding. It's a present participle. If I have another Qal present participle, I would take the same vowels, O, E. Okay, that's why it's a pattern. But because I have that chet on the end of the word, I can expect that there's going to be ach, lokeach. That ah doesn't exist on this word. But because they have a chet on the end of a word, it does something different, and it's lokeach. It's the same vowel pattern, O, A, but it adds that ah because of the chet. So we classify it as
That makes sense.
third chet so that we can predict what's going to happen on the end of it, because it's going to happen with all of them. Okay, it's really going to show up. It's really going to show up when we get to verbs beyond the Qal system.
Jason, I've seen in the book that the last quite a few, 5 or 6 chapters deal with the weak verbs. So we'll be looking at them presumably in excruciating detail in the second half of the course.
Yes, I want to throw them in everywhere because these are some of the most common verbs.
Yeah, they sort of keep popping up.
Yeah. So we have, for example, the word seem. We say seem, but it's not really seem. Seem is the root. Seem, it's the root. The forms that we're actually going to see of it are like sam. Sam is he put in the past tense. Yasim. Yasim is the future. Yasim, he will put. Ani asim. Asim, I will put. I will put. We're going to see the vav conjunctive, because the vav consecutive, because that's what we see all the time. It's vayasem, where that e becomes short eh. Vayasem, and he put. That's the past tense, the vav consecutive. Vayasem. Basically, that's the type of forms that we're going to see, but we need to know that they come from the word seem. That's the root. Okay. But if we look at the word kam, lakum, to get up. Hu kam, past tense. Hu yakum, future tense. And he got up, we've already seen many times, vayakum, where the U here is long, it goes to O, that's unaccented, vayakum, and he got up. Vayakum. Yes? Is this stuff, this shouldn't be too new to you because we've covered some of it. It's not the easiest stuff in the world. Other questions before we go on? We're getting into the imperfect in the next.
This is covered in detail later in the.
Yeah. We're getting into the imperfect in the next chapter, chapter 14. So once we get the perfect and the imperfect, that's like the whole of the Hebrew verb.
But these.
What are you asking?
If these, are there later in the book, does it cover these weak roots and strong hollow roots and all this?
This is what John was saying, that basically the authors took all of that and put it at the end of the book. Okay, so
I'm missing about half right now, so I'm sorry.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so that's basically they put it all at the end, but I think we'll work it into different parts of our lessons. If we think of this word kum, get up, means get up. Kam is the Qal, he got up. But in the hifil, you could say hakim. Hakim is he raised up, like he raised someone up, or he established something. This is hifil, the same root, and this is Qal. So Qal is get up, and hifil is raise up, like you raise something up. So we are going to have to look at the hollow verbs eventually, even before they present them in the text, I think, because it's some of the most common words, All right, we are into parsing Qal Perfects. Oh, Scott, yes, sorry.
One Let's go back to, can you read that question again slowly so I can follow along? And then what would our responses be? Yes or no? Or how do we say yes and no?
This one?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. This here.
Read that whole sentence again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the word ha, my pen suddenly decided not to work on me. The word ha means it's yes or no marker. Okay, it's yes or no. Yesh means there exists, and to you, lachem. Ha yesh lachem means do you have. Ha yesh lachem. Okay, ha yesh lachem. He'arot. He'arot. Lehair means to make a comment. Lehair. He'ir. It's a hifil verb. Ha'ir. Lehair is to make a comment. So he'ara is a comment, and he'arot are comments in the plural. He'arot or she'elot, she'elot, she'elot. Terem, this is before. She'elot is questions. Terem, before. Namshich. Namshich is hifil, we shall continue. So do you have any comments or questions before we continue? היש לכם הערות או שאלות טרם נמשיך? The word terem isn't exactly how we say it in modern Hebrew. We say lifnei shenamshich. But it's biblical and it's good. They also say in the Bible beterem with the be prefix. Beterem namshich. Okay?
Okay, and then how do you say yes? How do you say no?
Sorry. Yes is ken. Okay, so you say ken, that's a comma. Yesh, this is the same word, yesh. Okay, do you see yesh here? Ken yesh li she'ela. Oh, I wish my pen were working. Yesh li she'ela. I have a question. Okay, let's try. No. So ken yesh li she'ela.
Yeshli Shella.
Let's see if I can type it here. Hold on. Annotation, text, type here. Ken Yeshli Shela. Ken Yeshli. Sometimes my vowels don't come through. She'ela. Okay?
Yeshli Shella. Yeshli Shella.
She'ela. She'ela.
She'ela.
Okay, or you can say lo. Lo means no. En li she'elot. I don't have questions. I don't have any questions. En li she'elot. No, I don't have any questions. Okay. All right. So, היש לכם הערות או שאלות טרם נמשיך? כן, יש לי שאלה. לא, אין לי שאלות. אין לי שאלות. Cool? You want to write it down?
שאלות.
Do you want, אתה רוצה לכתוב את זה? Do you want to write it down? Or shall I go on?
I'll take a picture of it.
Okay, or it'll be on the recording on YouTube. So,
yeah.
By the way,
I'll take a picture right quick.
Okay.
Got it.
All right, moving on. If it'll let me.
Thank you.
My pleasure. How do I get rid of that? Okay. I don't want to annotate anymore. I don't want to draw. All right, here we go. This is about parsing. Have you done parsing before? I'm sure you did. Did you studied Greek and what, everybody? Have you all studied Greek?
Yes.
I don't even know. I assume that everybody studied Greek.
I have.
Okay.
I have.
Great. So parsing is not something that's completely foreign. The pieces of proper Hebrew parsing are a bit different than the pieces of Greek. Obviously, in Greek, you're going to say like the present indicative active, first person, common, plural, and whatever, right? In Hebrew, you're going to say kal, nifal, piel, pual, hifil, hitpael, whatever the stem is. Then you're going to say perfect or imperfect, or what we're going to get into in 2 chapters in the future, we're going to get into Joseph, cohortative and imperative. Hebrew is much, much, much simpler than Greek when verbs are concerned. So the perfect and imperfect, the default tense for them, perfect is default past, imperfect is default future. Then you have the present active, not present, but active participle, which is like eating, saying, doing. It's used often as a present tense. And then you have imperative, do it, second person. Joseph, let him do it. It's like the third person imperative in Greek. And the first person has a cohortative, let's do it. Or I shall do it. You know, it's like, let me do it. So that's all of the Hebrew verb. And then you have just above consecutives that flip the tense around. So Hebrew verbs are much, much simpler. The only difficulty the Hebrew verbs have over Greek is you've got kal, nifal, piel, pual, you know, all of these. That's it. But once you got the kal, you have all of them. They're very, very predictable. So we have to learn the kal first, and that's what we're doing. So when we're parsing, we're gonna read the name of the form, shlachtem. Shlachtem is Qal Perfect, second masculine plural of shalach, meaning you plural sent. Easy. It's got the form, Qal Perfect, Qal Imperfect, that's all we're responsible for right now. And then the form, 2MP, 2FP, 3FP, you know, whatever the person, number, and gender is. Pretty simple, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So elmad, I'm just gonna run through these because in the next you're gonna do a little bit of parsing. Elmad, this is a thematic vowel. Most of the time this is O, but in some roots it's A, like eshlach, I will send. Elmad, I will learn. Lamad, elmad, I will learn. So it's Qal Imperfect, it's future. First common singular of lamad, I will learn. This is a gloss. Limadaticha, this is PL. I don't know if you can see the PL type style there yet. You can see the T means I, and the Cha means you. It's PL, perfect first common singular of lamad with a second masculine singular suffix. It's got a suffix on there. I taught you. I taught you. Limadati otcha, limadticha. I taught you. Hotzeti is hifil perfect, first common singular of yatsa. The yod is one of those weak ones, and it becomes vav in the hifil. Hotzeti. It means I have brought out. So in the 10 Commandments, Anochi Adonai Elohecha asher hotzeticha me'eretz Mitzrayim. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. Hotzeti otcha, hotzeticha. Let's just move on to the next one. We won't be stuck on this because you don't need to know the hifil and everything. Just to remind you, first common singular is T. Me, T. Second masculine singular is, throw out your guess. Like shamarti, what do we put on for second masculine singular?
Ta.
Ta, shamarta, ta. This second feminine singular is?
Ta.
T, just a regular T sound, right? Let's see if I can clear this real quick. I got a dot on my screen. Yeah, there it went. Third masculine singular has no ending. Third feminine singular is vocalic ending, yeah. First common plural is? Nu. This one is second masculine plural? Tem. Second feminine plural?
10.
10, and third common plural, it's CP, not PC, CP. Third common plural is
U.
U. So the two vocalic endings are A and U. All right, so that's the suffirmatives, easy peasy. Next. Parse the forms. I'm going to throw up forms, and we'll see what we can do as far as parsing them. How should we do order? We'll go Geo, John, Ward, Scott. Cool?
I'm feeling pretty unconfident.
Well, we'll see what we got. We'll see what we got.
Right.
First, try to identify the root, Geo, and then the suffirmative, and then we'll think about how we would parse it.
So you have the root is halach.
Mm-hmm. Halach.
Okay, so that's Qal. And you have the ending.
Well, so you know, all of the forms we'll look at are going to be Qal Perfect, because that's all we've covered until now. So Qal Perfect. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's second masculine singular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So halachta is
Just
Qal
for
Perfect.
information,
Uh-huh.
I don't see anything right now. I see parse the forms and nothing else.
There's a red word on the top right. You don't see it at all? Halachta?
Well, it's right beneath the pictures. Got it.
Can you move your pictures?
I just closed them.
Okay. All right.
So
Yes,
halach.
I can.
So it's Qal Imperfect, second masculine singular. What's the gloss you would give it?
You went.
You went. Yes, exactly. Okay. So who's after Geo?
I think
John?
it was me, John.
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
So the root is kara,
Mm-hmm.
and the it's second masculine plural, and I have no idea what it means.
The root kara means called.
Oh. So it'd be this is perfect. You in the plural. You called.
You called. So it's Qal Perfect, second masculine plural. You called. Notice that the root is third aleph. Third aleph, it affects that there is no dagesh in the tav, right? And that this vowel is long, and because it's not a closed syllable, so this vowel is long. Okay, kratem. I wanted to say real quick about the root here, halach. The actual hey, many times if you have a root that's hey, it actually was a yod in historic form. So we're going to see a lot of weird things happen with first hey that it looks like first yod. So the future is not going to be, the hey is going to disappear. It's going to be yelech. Yelech. Yelech means he will go. Whereas kara, it's going to be yikra. Yikra. That's going to be the future. Okay. Next. We are on Ward, I believe.
So, Natan? No. Not na?
Natena.
Is it not tena? Okay, not tena. And so that's
Well, what's the root?
That's
yeah,
to give or
natan,
to put.
exactly. Yes.
Nun, tav, nun. And so that's third person feminine. She gave.
Third person feminine singular. She gave. Yes. Fantastic.
Singular, yes.
Next. Scotty, do you get that one? If I give you the root.
Lavashenu. Lavashenu.
Lavashno.
Lavashnu.
And lavash means to put on or to wear.
Must be thinking it's masculine singular. What's that third?
It's really weird that many times this ending is
second person.
This is actually first
Is it second
person. It's like anachnu. Anachnu.
Oh.
But the new ending
So it's
is
first
used
person?
a lot for him. But we're, in this case, first person. It's us.
Well, that was confusing.
Yeah, but it's lavash, and then this ending means anachnu. Anachnu, we. Lavashnu. So it's Qal Perfect. Qal Perfect. First person common singular. Common means it's for men and women.
Oh,
Masculine
okay.
and feminine. Okay, so and it means we wore or we put on. Okay, this is similar to the root. This one is yashavti. Yashavti. It is Qal Perfect, first person common singular, meaning I sat or I dwelt. Okay, the next one. We're back at the beginning. Gio would take it.
Pen.
Qal 10.
Pen. So it's the root here. I'm not sure about the root, but Qal 10, that's gonna be 10. It's second feminine plural to FP.
Do you know the root? Sha'al? We talked earlier about the word she'ela.
I forgot.
Oops. Okay.
I really gotta work on my vocabulary.
She'ela is question. That's question. She'ela. So sha'al is ask.
So you ask.
You asked.
You asked.
You asked. Okay. The next one is John, I believe.
Shalat. So that'll be second masculine singular.
Not masculine.
Right, feminine.
Feminine.
And once again, I fall down over the vocabulary meaning.
Okay, this is Moses asked. See, it's Passover right now, so I've got this on my brain. But Moses told Pharaoh to blank the people into the desert, so they could send. So how would you translate it?
Oh, sorry. You sent.
You sent, and it's talking to a woman. It's a feminine. You sent.
Which one are we talking about?
This one, shalacht. Shalacht. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're at the top. Let me see if I can draw an arrow up there just so you see it. This word way up there. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. This one, go ahead. Should be Word right now. Is it problematic?
Yeah, I faded out again.
Ah, okay. You're back?
I'm back now.
So this is your word?
I'm not sure where on this up here.
Yeah, it's at the top.
Shamarti.
Mm-hmm. Shamati.
Shamar, to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And T is I, so I heard, I listened.
Mm-hmm. I heard, yeah. Be careful that it's not shamar, but shama. Shamati. It's a ayin, not a rish.
Shamati.
Shamati.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. Like in the...
Not guard, listen.
Mm-hmm.
Shamati.
Right. Good. So we're going to call it Qal Perfect, first common singular from Shema, meaning I heard. Okay, next. All right, this is a hollow verb. And we are back at Scotty. Can you maybe tackle this one? It's from the root sim, lasim, to put.
I didn't see which one are we? Point it out to me, I'm sorry. So it looks like Shamatim.
Oops, this is on the wrong side. It should be here. That's my mistake.
Okay.
So,
Sematim.
Some tem.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Closed. Okay. Some tem.
Some tem is from seem. What's the ending? The supportive?
Put.
Mm-hmm.
That was put, yes?
Yep.
So it's Qal Perfect. Put. Team. I suppose that's plural, but plural masculine.
Yep. Second masculine plural. It means atem, you. So samtem means you put or you have put.
Oh, it's second person.
Mm-hmm. And ignore that dot right there. It should be on the other side. I'm sorry. My fault. Okay. I do that a lot. What can I do? I type fast and I miss things. All right. The next word is at the bottom here. This is a nice form from the same root as this one. We're back to geo. We had this one earlier, natna. Natna means she gave. Natna. This is natati. What do you think that means? Wow, it just started raining.
Natati.
Natati. Mm-hmm.
I gave.
I gave, or I have given, right? What is special about that form?
It drops the noon.
It drops the noon. What happens to the noon?
Becomes the tab.
Yeah, the dagesh.
The dagesh.
So yeah. It would naturally be natanti, but that noon, when it has a shvanach, when it's got a silent shva, it tends to be swallowed up into the next letter. So natanti becomes natati. There are people in Israel who still say natanti, people who live up by the Tiberias Sea, by the Sea of Galilee. A lot of them, when they come down into the south, and they will say natanti, and everybody just looks at them funny because it sounds weird. But it does exist. but you're supposed to say natati. Natati is the biblical form and the modern form, and some people just don't say it right. What's funny is we have the word yashan. I'm going to share a different screen with you. Hold on. One note. We have the word yashan, which means he slept. Yashen is to sleep. Lishon. Okay, Yashen. He sleeps. Can you see that? The past is yashanti.
Yes.
It's not yashati, but yashanti. The nun does not get swallowed up. So it doesn't happen with all forms, but it is common that the nun will disappear. This word yashanti means I slept, and it will never disappear and say yashati. That's not a form. But natati, natanti becomes actually natanti becomes really natati, like that, natati. Okay. Back to PowerPoint.
I have to sign off. I hate to, but I have to sign off and go get my kiddo from daycare.
Well, kid is more important than Hebrew.
Well, I'm not sure about that.
All right, well, take care of yourself. I'm surprised your
Okay,
kid has daycare.
thank you.
Your kid has daycare in the Corona time.
We're essential services as a plumbing service, emergency plumbing service, and also daycare is open for essential services.
Wow, because they don't consider school essential service, so you think it'd be the same.
Right, and he's 4.5, so but yeah, so that's the way it's working out here in California.
All right, well, good
Same
luck.
thing up
care,
here in
Scott.
British Columbia.
We'll see you later. See you next time.
Leila Tov.
Laila
Okay.
Tov. Bye-bye. All right. Who was next then? Gio did Natate, so John is next.
Okay.
And it's the one over here on the right. Another hollow verb. Can you recognize what the root would be?
Probably, mem with possibly a yod or vav in the middle,
Vav.
and then the tet.
Tav.
Boy, I can never remember the different.
So it's from the word, like if you write it out as a noun, it's the word mavet. Mavet is a segolet noun. Mavet meaning death. So we call the verb, we call it lamut. Lamut is to die. Mut.
So this means they died.
Yes, they died. Exactly, they died.
So third.
The singular is going to be met. Who met? He meta. Hem metu. They died. It's a really rough way to say things. The Bible uses it a lot to say that, like, and Moses died. Vayamot. Vayamot Moshe. Vayamot. It's kind of rough. In modern Hebrew, we soften it. We don't say die, we say pass away. And that's niftar. Mishu niftar, ulo met. Met is not a gentle way to say that somebody's dead. But okay, next. The next word is yatsu. Ward, you want to grab that?
Okay. Yasu, so it should be they, and the root is the Yod Sade Aleph.
Yes.
I believe that means to go out. So they went out.
Yes, exactly. They went out or they left. Notice that it's third Aleph. That's going to have effect on some forms. Okay, next. This word is kama. Kama is from kum, and it's feminine singular in the third person. Kama. Qal Imperfect, third person, feminine singular, meaning she arose or she got up. He kama, she got up. Okay, followed? That is the last one. Hayesh lachem ha'arot o she'elot terem namshich. Do you have any questions or comments before we go on?
Low.
No.
Lo, en li she'elot. Okay, next we are going to reading practice. And for reading practice, we are going to cut over to the Logos Bible software, I think. So let me share that instead of this. Logos. Okay, we went over vocabulary. Remember the word chamishi is fifth and sheva is seven. Wow, I hate clicking that lookup button. That's interesting though. We do have this dictionary on here. We could use it sometime. Okay. So we're on Genesis 41. That's where we are. The benefit of using the on-screen Logos software is that we have the little asterisks and we can see what the authors intended us to see with footnotes and stuff. Okay. So I think we're back to Geo. Let's give it a start. We're going to just continue this order if you guys don't mind. We're just going to do like Geo, John Ward, me. Geo, John Ward, me.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead.
So we have Vaihi Meketz.
Mm-hmm.
Vaihi
And
Meketz.
Ketz means end. You see, Ketz is end. So from the end. Mm-hmm.
From the end, yeah. And it came to pass in the end. Shnatime Yamim.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of 2 full years, 2 years.
Yeah, the phrase Shnatayim Yamim
2 years.
is usually taken as a designation for a full 2 years. 2 full years.
2 full years.
It wasn't a year and a half, it was 2 full years. Shnatayim Yamim.
Shnatayim Yamim Vaya Chalom Paro. Vaya Chalom Paro. And Vaya Chalom Paro. Chalom Valayla.
Yeah.
So, and it came to pass in the end of 2 full years, and the Pharaoh dreamed a dream during the night or in the night.
Yeah, at night. At night, in the night, balayla. Notice that little kamatz is long. Normally, laila has a patach. It has kamatz because it's in pause with sof pasuk, the end of the verse.
Balayla.
Balayla. It sounds the same, but just note that it's kamatz and not patach when it's in pause. All right. Vayhi miketz shnatayim yamim vayachlom paro chalom balayla. Okay, we're going to skip from 41:1 to 41:8. Not sure why, but oh look, they have a translation of the whole verse. That's cool. So again, we have Vayhi, and we're going to John.
Vayhi Babiker.
And so Balayla is at night. What is Baboker?
In the morning.
In the morning.
Oh, and it was in the morning, or in the morning. Vayeshla. Vayekera. Et Qal Hasem.
Okay, so this word is all. It's kol.
Qal.
Kol, not kal, but kol. This is an O.
Qal.
Kol. O. Kol.
Qal.
Mm.
Qal ha Hakmen. Mitzrayim. By Vayisaper,
Vayisaper,
Pharaoh lahem et halomo.
Well, you got a long verse, sorry.
Yeah, it just keeps going. Lo yadu et Piron ahalom.
Yeah. Okay, that's a long one. This is a phrase, Vahiba Boker. They like to write it without the dagesh lene in the beginning of the word, and that's fine. It's probably like that in the text. Dagesh lene after a vowel. This vowel here, Vahiva Boker, and it took place, and it happened in the morning. Vahiba Boker. Another verb consecutive, Vaishlach.
He sent.
Vaikra.
And called.
He called. Et kol chachmei Mitzrayim. That's a phrase that goes together.
All the wise men of Egypt.
Yep. Or all the sages of Egypt. The sages, wise men. Oh, I have a box. Okay. Vaisaper. It's got that middle radical with dagesh. This is a PL verb. Vaisaper. It's from siper, meaning he told or he recounted.
Okay. And Pharaoh recounted.
So that's the subject, right?
Yep. He recounted to them the dreams.
Et chalomo, his dream.
His dream.
And that's singular. His dream.
His dream. And
Velo yadu et pitron chalom.
They did not tell him.
They didn't know
the interpretation of the dream.
Yeah, they didn't know the interpretation of the dream. The word yada is no, yad'u. Lo yad'u, they did not know. Velo yad'u et pitron halom. They didn't know the dream's interpretation. Okay, we're back to the same verb, vaisaper, and we are now on Ward. If you'd go ahead and take it for us. Are you there? Maybe I've lost internet now. I don't know. I'm good.
No, Ward's screen. Oh, he just reappeared on the screen.
All right, Ward.
I think I just came back.
All right, welcome back. It's your verse. Just to recap what we had, he called all the wise people of Egypt, and Pharaoh told them his dream, and they did not know the interpretation of the dream. Okay, and now we're on the next verse, verse 9.
Vayisafer sar ha mashkim.
Yeah, this is from the last lesson. Remember the chief cupbearer.
Be bayamim harishonim. So the chief cup. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
okay,
you
so
stopped
the
right
chief
here. Did you finish the verse? Because we heard you stop right there.
No, I didn't. Lemor.
Okay, no problem.
Bayamim harish Harishonim Atavnu al
So this is
Hamelech
Chatanu. Chatanu is we sinned. Chatanu.
al Hamelech Anohi Ve Sar Ha Ofim.
Yeah.
So I assume this means kind of in the beginning or at earlier times.
Which
Bayim,
one? Bayamim Arishonim.
Bayamim, yeah.
Yeah, in the first days.
Earlier. Okay. So we sinned against the king of Egypt.
Well, we got to start here with the translation.
Oh, okay. And so, and the cupbearer,
chief cupbearer,
recounted to Pharaoh, or spoke to Pharaoh, saying, in the first days they sinned against our king.
Okay. If you think about this as one expression, in the first days when we sinned against the king, right?
Yeah.
Like basically right after we sinned against the king and we ended up in jail, this stuff happened, remember? Because he's going to tell him about Joseph.
And it was I and the baker.
Yep. The chief baker. The word Sar is the minister, the one who's in charge of it. So Sarah Mashkim and Sarah Ofim, the chief cupbearer and chief baker. Okay, wonderful. Next verse, please. Oh, I didn't read. Hello. Vayichar, the accent's on the beginning. Vayichar af paro. Okay, Pharaoh's nose got hot. Va'avadav, with his servants. Pharaoh's nose got hot with his servants. Vayiten oti b'mishmar beit Sarah tabachim. Oti ve'et Sarah ofim. Oti ve'et Sarah ha'ofim. So he says, clear this off. Pharaoh got angry with his servants and he put me in confinement in the house of the chief cook. Like we've got a chief cupbearer, this is the chief cupbearer, this is a chief baker, and this is the chief cook. This is Potiphar. Okay? Oti ve'et sar ha'ofim, me and the chief cook, chief baker. Okay? All right. Everyone understands, right? We're on verse 11. This is for Geo.
So, of Laila? Is it of Laila?
Uva Laila Echad. Sorry, I was expecting also and at night, Uva Laila. But this is and in one night, Uva Laila Echad.
Of Laila Echad, Halamnu Ani Vahu Ish man Kifetron
Ish Kifitron Chalomo. A man according to the interpretation of his dream. That means each man his own dream's interpretation. The word ish is often used to mean each person. So we did this, a man to his neighbor, means we did this each to his neighbor. Each person did this, we each did this to our neighbor. So in this case, we dreamed, each man, according to the interpretation of his dream, Chalamnu.
Xalamnu.
Okay. Do you want to interpret that, or shall I take it? Do you feel comfortable with it? Anivahu.
I'll feel comfortable about it.
How about I just break it into phrases? Hold on, let's see. We'll take a.
I think I get the of Layla on one night. Echad in one night. Chalamnu. Chalamnu.
Chalamnu chalom.
Chalamnu chalom. We dream a dream.
We dreamed a dream in one single night. Anivahu, what does that mean?
Anivahu. Ani, I, and he.
Yeah, I and he.
I and he. Anivahu.
So in one night, we dreamed a dream, him and me. Like we turn them around in English. We say he and I, but in Hebrew, it's ani vahu, and it's always that way. You always put yourself first in Hebrew, put yourself last in English. So in English, you say my wife and I went to a movie. In Hebrew, you say ani ve'ishti alachnu leseret. Ani ve'ishti, me and my wife, I and my wife. Ani ve'ishti rainu seret. We saw a movie. For some reason, in Hebrew, you put yourself first, ani vahu, but in English, you would say hu va'ani, him and me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
In school, we were always told to put ourselves second, but in Hebrew, you don't. So ani vahu. Okay, keep going.
And he ish kipetron.
Ke means according to, right? Ke. And fitron is pitron, interpretation.
Interpretation, according to interpretation. Halom.
Okay, halom is.
Halom. Halam.
So this word halom is the same as this word halom.
Yeah, dream.
So the O on the end means his. Halomo is his dream.
His dream and
so when it says a man, his dream, it means each man his own dream. Each person his own dream. So according to the interpretation of his own dream. Okay, each one has his own dream's interpretation. And chalamnu, same as here. What's the difference, like right here to right there, the vowel? See the difference? This is patach, and the other one is kamatz, because the second one is in pause. It's the end of the verse right here. Sof pasuk. So it's in pause. Yeah, we dreamed. Okay, John, will you take the next one, please?
Vasham Atanu Ish Ivari Evet Lashar Hata Vahim Vaif.
This is O, Yiftol.
Tol Vaif Tol Lanu Et Halom Heinu
Halomotenu. This is halomot, plural. Halomotenu.
Halomotenu. Ish Kahalomo Fatar.
Patar. The kamatz in the last word, patar, the kamatz, the second one, is because it's pause. It's the same patar with kamatz, patach, it's supposed to be. Okay. V'sham itanu ish ivri, eved l'sar tabachim. This is the possession using the lamed, like the dative of possession, if you will. Eved l'sar tabachim, a slave of the whatever. Vayiftor lanu et chalamotenu, ish kachalomo patar. Okay, go ahead and give us a translation of that.
Oh, I'm stuck on the first word.
The first word is v'sham, and there. V'sham itanu. This is and there with us. And in there with us, there was blah, blah, blah.
So is that that's a definite verb?
No, it's not a verb. It's an adverb saying where.
Okay. And there with us, each one.
Well, this one isn't. This was ish ivri, a Hebrew man. Ish ivri. You see, ivri is a Hebrew, and ish is a person.
So the third word, ish, you're saying that's Hebrew? Hebrew?
Ivri. The word ivri is from Ever. Ever was the grandfather of Abraham. And so ivri is a person who is descended from Ever.
So each.
So this
Hebrew.
doesn't mean each, it means a man.
Oh.
Ish ivri, a Hebrew man.
Yeah, I'm stuck on this.
This is the first word is a noun. Okay, so this one is a noun, ish, man. And the second one is an adjective of ethnos, like people.
So
Ish ivri is a Hebrew man, whereas when we met Potiphar earlier, he was called Ish Mitzri, Egyptian man. Here we have Ish ivri, a Hebrew man. If it were a woman, it would say Isha ivriya. Isha ivriya. You get it? That this is this is boxed in together. Okay.
Yeah, I think I better let you translate this. It's I'm fading.
Okay. Well, this is
my brain is.
This one is and there with us a Hebrew man. So there in the jail where we were, there in the jail with us. There's no verb, but we just say was. There in the there with us was a Hebrew man, a slave of the chief cook. Eved l'sar tabachim, slave of the chief cook. Vayiftor lanu et chalamotenu, and he solved for us our dreams. He gave an interpretation for our dreams.
Okay.
And then this one means each. Ish kachalomo patar. He interpreted each man's dream. Ish kachalomo patar. Patar is he interpreted. And so a man, according to his dream, he interpreted. In other words, he interpreted each man's dream. Make sense?
Now that you've explained it, the meaning of the words, yes.
I'm sorry. We're doing well. It's getting late. Let's see. Right now it's been our hour and a half. I think we should not go on too much longer because last time it ended up 2.5 hours. So,
yeah, I better, since it's 5:30, I do need to go.
All right, so we'll let you go, and I think Ward's gonna do one more sentence, and then we'll call it a night.
Okay, see you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, John.
Okay, bye.
So Ward, can you finish us up with verse 13? Have we lost you again? Ward. Well, while he comes back, I guess I'll read this one. Vayhi kasher patar lanu ken haya. Oh, he dropped. Maybe he's coming. Otis samta al kani ve'oto talita. Vayhi kasher patar lanu ken haya. Otis samta al kani ve'oto talita. So this says, I'm gonna cut out. Can I delete that? Sorry. Delete, clear. Okay, so, and it came to pass according to what he interpreted for us, thus it was. Like, that's how it happened. Just like he interpreted to us, that's what happened. Me, you put, that he's speaking to Pharaoh, so he says, you put me on my post, or on my office, or the word ken, this is, you put me back in my position, in my office. Va'oto talita, and you hanged him. Talita auto, you hanged him. Okay. Ward, you want to grab the last verse for us, and we'll call it a night. What do you say?
We'll give it a try. I'm actually working now.
Oh.
Vayishlach Paro Vayikra et Yosef Yeseh min Habur Vayibo el Faro. Vayibo el Faro. So and Pharaoh sent for him, and he called Joseph, and he came out from the pit.
Kind of sounds weird, doesn't it? You would think it would say he came out of jail. Why is he in a
pit?
He
came out of the pit, and I guess he saw the Pharaoh, so he was before Pharaoh, maybe?
He came.
He came before Pharaoh.
Yeah.
To Pharaoh.
He came to Pharaoh.
Not the Ra.
All right. I think that's enough of the screen sharing for this time. All right, so thank you so much. Next week, please focus on the forms before we meet, because you're going to read over the imperfect. And the imperfect is what we call the prefixed tense. Like what we've done until now is a suffix tense, because the person and the number is on the end of the verb. Shalachti, alachta, shvartem, you broke. The person is on the end. Then in the prefix tense, which is the imperfect, it's going to be on the beginning. So shalach means sent. Eshlach, I will send. Tishlach, you will send. Yishlach, he will send. On a few of them, there are additional stuff on the end, like tishlechi, you will send, speaking to a female. That's tishlach, it's you will send, and she, tishlechi. It means you will send as a female. And tishlechu, you will send as plural, tishlechu. You plural will send.
So this will be interesting to see next week too, because I heard about half of this encounter this time, and I went in and out a lot. I don't know if that's just something that's local happening here, or if it's Zoom and the bandwidth, or
I don't know. Last week, I've been using Zoom a lot this week, and so On Tuesday, I hosted a 3-hour karaoke session. I tend to go out on Tuesday nights. That's my night for karaoke. And since I can't go out, we have Zoom and we all sing to each other. And I could not share my YouTube screen. I couldn't share my screen because every time I would share the screen, I would get knocked off. But everyone else was doing it just fine. So it was on my side. I don't know what it is with Zoom, that it seems like one person from the meeting has trouble.
I don't know. Well, I'm about 9 miles out of town too, out in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably don't have the best internet connection of anybody in the world.
Yeah, well, my internet's been pretty bad lately, but today it's been great. I've had
Jason,
here you can see where we are out here.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, nice.
I thought it was a virtual background like Gio's got going on.
Feeling the summer. But Jason, can you send us the presentation you've sent? Like I would love to have the tables you presented earlier.
Of course. Did you get the one from last week?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll send it out. Any questions before we cut it out? Before we call it quits? Let's see if I can give you something to take with you as far as spoken Hebrew. Let's use OneNote, and I'll try to give you something that you can maybe take with you. You know how to say already lehitraot, meaning goodbye, right? Lehitraot, goodbye. What is another, like a little expression you'd like to know to say before we go? Wait. Lehitraot. Just so you know, this is a hitpael form. It means it's reflexive, to be seen. Like I see you and you see me. It's until we see each other again. Lehitraot. You know shalom, you know toda, you know toda rabba. Thank you.
Yeah.
You can say yesh li she'elot, yesh li she'ela, I have a question. Something useful to take with you as you go.
How do you say like you? How do you say like you take care or something like that? You.
Okay, that's a little.
I don't know if you can hear me. I can't hear you. So.
Oh. You don't hear either of us?
I'm not hearing anything now, so I'm going to go ahead and go. So, Frank, thanks very much for everything.
Okay, we'll see you next time. Okay, so this is an imperfect form that we're going to get next week. That's wrong vowel. Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
Oops.
Tishmor al-Atzmecha.
Yeah, Tishmor al-Atzmecha means like shamar, to protect or take care of. Al-Atzmecha, on yourself. So Tishmor al-Atzmecha means take care of yourself.
Tishmor al-Atzmecha.
Yeah, Tishmor al-Atzmecha. There's not really a quick way to say take care. Like you say, Tishmor al-Atzmecha. All right. Tishmeru.
Thanks, Jason.
Bye.
Nice to talk to you, Giovanni. All I'm hearing is kind of da 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 da. So I'll see you next week.
Okay, see you next week.
See you next week.
This is the plural.
Tishmeru.
Mm-hmm.
Tishmeru al-Atzmechem.
Yes. Yep. Tishmeru al-Atzmechem. Take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Tishmeru al-Atzmechem. All right. Tishmor al-Atzmecha, Tishmor al-Atzmechem. Anachnu nitra'eh shavua haba. Nitra'eh. We will see each other. Shavua haba. Next week. Nitra'eh shavua haba. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Ward.